So that's that final fourth verse that he stopped performing. Good morning, and welcome to a special New Year's Eve edition of the Clarion Call Reactions and Opinions. I can't let this year of 2025 end without one more salute to a person that I believe will be seen as one of the greatest composers of the 20th and into the 21st century, Brian Wilson. I did a number of reactions to some of his work when he died back in June. Recently, I also did one of his Christmas songs on his 2005 Christmas album. The song I want to do today became kind of his theme song. In his later years, he would close all his concerts singing Love and Mercy. Although he did sing a truncated version and left the last, fourth verse off most of the time. But I discovered a very early live performance in 1988. I'm not sure if there isn't some lip syncing going on here because I hear a lot of background voices and I don't see anybody on the stage actually singing them. But what's remarkable really is how good Brian looked there in 1988. He was just getting out of his long period of depression, and we know his weight ballooned up well over 300 pounds. He was depressed and spent a lot of time either in his bed or playing in his sandbox in his house. We could hardly tell by looking at this fit version of Brian. The song was released as a single as part of his first solo album, but it didn't do very well on the singles chart to some degree because he was competing against his former group, the Beach Boys. They had their first #1 hit in 20 years with Kokomo, and it was actually the last time that the Beach Boys made the top 40. Those two records came out almost at the exact same time. Brian's version did not make it to the top of the charts, but I think it has stood the test of time. It was also the title of one of the best biopics ever done about Brian Wilson's life, called Love and Mercy. If you haven't seen that one, that's a really good explanation of what was going on with Brian at that point in his life. He had a very controversial therapist who tried to take control of his life. Obviously, it was successful in some degrees as they were able to get Brian back up on stage and looking pretty fit here in this video. But it came at the cost of almost total control of his life by Dr. Landry. And then Brian met and married second wife, I believe. She eventually got him out from under the control of Dr. Landry, who was actually coming between him and the Beach Boys band to a certain degree and also interfering with his recording his solo album. There you have it. Very short verses, a couple lines talking about watching a violent movie, laying in his room and watching TV. Just ordinary things that people do that are depressing. And then he realizes what we really need is love and mercy. Now you can already start to hear those classic Beach Boy harmonies in the background. And again, I don't really see anybody on the stage that's singing them. If they were there, for some reason they didn't appear on camera. So it could be that this is some sort of a combination of live performance with maybe the background voices being mixed in on tape. That's got to be like 4 or 5 voices singing in harmony there in that little instrumental break. And I see one guy with a microphone. I don't think he's producing all that noise. He went to a bar and he's just watching all the people, and he watched the television and he saw all the unhappy people in the world. And he thinks what everybody really needs is just some love and mercy.
Doesn't seem to hear. Oh, the blessings we need the most are what we all fear.
So that's that final fourth verse that he stopped performing later on in his career. He was praying to a God who doesn't seem to hear. Yeah, that's a pretty hopeless feeling when you look around and you wonder, if there is a God, how could he allow some of the horrible things that happen in the world, the violence, exploitation of children, war? It's hard to understand. And then he says the blessings that we need the most are the ones we fear the most. A little bit of a contradictory statement there, saying humans actually run away from the truth, run away from love, run away from God.
The blessings we need the most are what we all fear. Love and mercy, that's what you need tonight. Love and mercy to you and your friends tonight. Love and mercy to you and your friends tonight. Love and mercy tonight.
I don't know anything about that concert. It looks like it might be out in California in some sort of outdoor venue. As always, Brian's production, he was the ultimate perfectionist, and his production values are always darn near perfect. As I've mentioned before, I did go and see Brian later on in the 1990s or early 2000s when he toured and performed the entire Pet Sounds album with a 26-piece orchestra, one of the greatest nights of my life. As we turn the page on 2025, let's not forget some of the great names that we've lost. You know, I've also done tributes to Garth Hudson of the band, who was the last remaining member of that group, and of course the great Jimmy Cliff, reggae singer from Jamaica, and so long to Brian, who was the last remaining Wilson brother, although a couple of the other members are still living. He was the last of the 3 Wilson brothers to pass, and who would have thought it, because his health was in question there for many years when he first had his breakdown in the 60s all the way through. Actually, to this point here, he was almost rarely seen in concert. Maybe you could see a little bit of fear in his eye. Who would blame him for a guy that had been away from the public spotlight for so long to get up in front of a crowd like that and belt out a song? Not an easy thing for anybody to do, especially someone who had those type of psychological issues. Great song, great performance by Brian. We will miss you.